Good evening. That's a crazy title, right?
What's your title?
I don't know. You're gonna tell me to redo it.
Nah.
I wouldn't blame you. It's weird, but this tape uh, that we're gonna talk about has a lot of stuff in it, and I could never do it justice, but I'm gonna try anyway. So listen to it for yourself. But is my advice if you really want to get the most potent picture you can get of Doe's mind. I mean, among all the others, of course, is the way I feel anyway. But keep playing with the screen. Okay,
As long as
so let
I'm
me
not in it.
advertise this to Facebook and Twitter X.
Hmm.
That's the one I wanted to do. Silly me. I used a picture of Ceres compared with Las Vegas. Ceres lights. The cereal, the goddess of the harvest, the goddess of wheat, I think. And well, that's part of the harvest. So a bunch of things. They have a statue on the Montpelier, Vermont, capital of Vermont, uh, City Hall, I think it is, of a statue of that goddess. Anyway, get back on track here.
Oh, I don't have a lot of time to eat. What time? Hmm. Yeah, I just started eating at noon. Okay.
Okay, we got on Facebook and got on Monica Lewinsky.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I've got mine here.
Don't get distracted by Miss Lewinsky.
No, no, I'm not going to look at Miss Lewinsky. X marks the spot on that. But let's see. Happy Monday, old school Dave. This is getting to be a habit here, isn't it? No, there's someone. There's one or two in the cabinet, and there's a case of them in there. That sounds good.
I have roughly 30, 40 minutes
Old School Dave says, praise the goddess of weeds power. There you go. Yes, there's power in the weed.
Lots of power.
So, I agree with that. During this, there. Okay. Yeah, that's it from that. So yes, I guess I'm ready to do this. Actually, do something adult. That's what Kathy would say. When we had to do something, pay a bill or something,
We mailed
we
a
were doing
bill.
adult things.
We paid off the car payment.
Right.
Very adult stuff.
So this tape is filled with
Very adult things.
very adult things. Yes, to say the least.
Sorry.
But adult meaning adult mind, coming from a very adult mind. In fact, a member of the evolutionary level above human mind. Uh, different as grown beyond human mind as the human mind is grown beyond an animal mind. That's a way to think about it. And the evidence of that, of course, is, in the beholder, what we do with it. And so, so what Doe is talking about in this tape, 278, uh, these are on the screen, my rough notes for audio 278, which was recorded on November 29th, 1987, and which is covering some topics that include reality of spiritual bodies, ministering to spirits, spiritual body is perfect, and if totally in control of the vehicle, it would be healed completely. How to apply this understanding, healers, when to say I, change how you think of yourself, how far can we heal these vehicles, and it's 88 minutes long. And so if you haven't been to this channel before, you'll see that my notes there are terrible. And I'm keeping it that way because that's the best I could do. And uh, I'm not allowed to actually put the transcripts up there.
Nor do we have transcripts.
Right, but I mean, I've copied some things, little parts of things. Okay. Anyway, so actually not that part. I didn't put it in the right place. So these are my words about what Doe was saying. And so he's saying that when we talk about the body as separate from the mind, the body in the sense uh, the period separating has also caused this necessary transition. See, that was a side issue that I'm not saying in the right way. So I have to kind of like summarize it before I talk about it, I guess. Doe is very technical in this. In a way, if you would actually, if people would open their minds to the science of mind, then they can begin to, if they need to approach things with that frame of mind, because they don't come from a background that comes through some kind of religious or spiritual or paranormal upbringing, in their gene, whatever their genes are. Uh, a way to think about it is, I think, uh, as the science of it, which has to do with frequencies, and molecular structures. And it was funny. I did a delivery of a person the other day. I forgot to tell Kathy about it, and I took it to.
Delivery of a person.
Yeah, I was delivering a person.
You're right.
Right, I was giving a ride to somebody.
I mean, you can say whatever you want for it.
Right, no, no, it sounds more sophisticated to say I was giving a ride to somebody.
Yeah,
But,
and
and it should be, I think. But, and, and the location was a molecular biology lab.
Mushi?
Yeah, and so normally I repeat the word, the title. I read where I'm going so that the passenger can agree to it or not. And so I read it back. I couldn't pronounce the word molecular. I went, it's like weird. And so I felt like here I was, this idiot cab driver, you know.
Dropping off a
Yeah, dropping up a nuclear scientist,
scientist.
molecular nuclear scientist.
Right.
And so there wasn't going to be any talk during that time because I probably should have, asked her. I kind of thought a little bit about it, but for some reason it was just like, no, don't ask her. And she had headphones on. She didn't want to talk. She just wanted to listen to music, get to her job, and whatever she's doing.
Some people want to talk and some don't.
Right.
Fine either way. I'd rather listen to my music sometimes anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to be entertaining your ass. Excuse me, sorry.
Okay, so what's next in this tape? 278. The main thing is thinking about the body as separate from the mind, and that becomes a reality. I'm just going to talk about the way I understand it. And from Doe. And I can remember sitting in this meeting, and well, maybe not that one, but uh, hearing it on tape. And I think there were other meetings that continue along these lines. Um, I mean, it starts off with that he feels like he kept on getting signals that his eye, his eyes were all puffed up when he went to bed one night.
No, he woke up.
He woke up and his eyes were in the
Had a
mirror.
couple of hours of sleep.
He had a couple hours of sleep,
And
right?
his eyes were all puffy.
Right, his eyes were all puffy. Didn't recognize himself.
Yeah, so it only happened one time.
Right, right. And,
Because he didn't get enough sleep. He
right.
had said that, he had told himself that
He got about 4 hours sleep or something because,
At that, yeah.
yeah, I think something till 1 till 5, something like that, 1:30 to 5.
Well,
I think he said.
woke up at 2. He woke up at 2 and went into
Oh,
BC.
oh, really?
That's what he said. He woke up at around 2:30, went into the BC, and his eyes were all puffy.
Right, right.
So at that point, he would have only had like an hour and a half of sleep.
Yeah, and he and he began to wonder if it was because they were on this bread diet.
No bread diet or something.
No bread diet?
He said bread fast.
A bread fast. But
Bread
that would
fast.
mean bread is what you eat. the only thing you eat would be
If you're
bread.
eating a bread fast,
Yeah,
I would think that would be no bread. It would make more sense though to be all puffed up if you'd only been eating bread.
yeah, it would. Like allergic reaction.
You know how you guys use those words. I don't. Because to me,
Well,
like a
a
bread
juice fast
fast.
meant that you were using drinking juice, and a a apple juice fast, which we also did, was apples and water. And so juice fast was also water. And let's see, and when we did the fast on water, it was only on water.
So you call it a water fast?
Yeah, I don't know if we actually used that term. Yeah, we did, because I was thinking about whether we would at first be breatharians, just just fast on nothing, to stop eating and drinking. And after one day, he decided that wasn't the path to go in. And so we fasted on water for the next, water only for the next 12 days, I think. And then broke the fast with very hard to digest fruit.
Tangerine.
Oh, yeah, tangerines. And that were growing we got them from Yuma. They were so sweet. And, but we got through it. And so anyway, that's just a little side story. But
The tape.
the reality of the spiritual bodies, and he said that they're on every cell. Gallbladder, the spirit is on every cell. It's part of every cell. It's surrounding, I guess, or every cell, and it's actually the same shape as the whole body because every cell has it. I guess it's what they call the polarity of the cell. Is actually a database. It's amazing, right? It makes anything that the humans do look artificial or primitive. So, and so he was talking about how that spirit body that is the gift from the creators, from the next level, that he was the administrator of for the planet Earth, according to Doe, and I believe it, and feel like I know it. Anyway, and they've got it set up to where if you have a perfect spirit, a perfect spiritual body, that means you don't have any of the negative influences from the human kingdom in it, and the misinformation, and it's all in degrees that become diseases in our bodies that biologically, can kill us or hamper us or grow to be hard to change. And so anyway, so the so for example, when you have a thought about something, talk about it again. further. What things though felt were not part of the spiritual body in terms of the human physical body? Uh, oh no, I didn't say that right.
Hair.
Yeah, right. But that was the way I was getting at it, right.
Well,
Hair was
was he
one.
talking about next level members or alien? No,
Well, I think he was
was
talking
it the
about human
spirit body?
vehicles.
It was the spirit body. Wow.
Well, yeah, it was the spirit body because the spirit is in everything, right? The spirit of the next level's spirit is in everything. That's why it's perfect. But we then, uh, by accepting all the influences, the spirits of the discarnates, of the deceased humans, and everything else that goes with that, we are introducing diminishing of that mind in that's in us. He was actually describing, I think, how genetically we've got a little piece of God inside of us all. And so where that gets distorted is to think then therefore we are gods. Because it's like, let's say you have a billion pieces of something, is 1 billionth the same as the whole? It doesn't even make any sense. But people have latched onto it because anyway, for whatever reason we do, and it becomes it just isn't going in an accurate direction in terms of becoming anything else. Because it can only become something else if it's going to the highest source. And that highest source has to be from outer space. That's what Jesus was teaching. And even before that, that's the way I kind of judge it anyway. But I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody else. But so ministering to spirits that I was talking about in this tape was when you're entertaining a spirit,
No,
another spirit body.
no. He wanted you guys
Oh,
to
ministering to
enter.
spirits. Right, that's right. Thank you. Yeah, that was talking about the task they were approaching, and they were planning to put into motion in a few days. They were going to start an outpost where they were going to be interfacing with the public. So this was 1987, and so they were talking about how the people in the world outside of the classroom were the spirits, the ones that had spiritual bodies that uh,
We're
to
not
wh-
in physical vehicles. You
right,
guys were going to be talking to the spirits that were outside the physical
right.
vehicles, trying to overtake the physical vehicles.
That's right. Very well said, Kathy. They were outside the physical vehicles, and they were trying to take over the the physical vehicles
That is showing up to the meeting.
that had shown up to the meetings. Right.
I mean, he didn't say that part. I did.
Well, that's what would be happening at a meeting that they would have if anybody came to that location because of the flyers that they put out, and they were going to send to the different
We,
groups of people, huh? Brochures.
you were involved.
Yeah, yeah, but I was there. I was I was fully embraced with
And this
everything.
is confusing when you say they
I
put out.
know.
I'm like, are you talking about like after 1994 when
I
you
get
left
it. I
the
have to be
group, or are you
reminded of
talking
that.
about the 19 years you were in the group?
Yeah,
I'm confused when you say that.
yeah. So
Sounds like you weren't there or something.
thank you for correcting me on that. So I'll correct it to say that if you're still listening, that I was there. So we were doing it. Yes. Um,
You put up plenty of flyers yourself. Personally.
Yeah, but
How many flyers do you think you put up on?
uh,
I mean, you act like you only put up like one time or something. You probably put up hundreds.
hmm, hmm, hmm.
Anyway,
Okay.
why are you downplaying your?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really trying to downplay. I'm just trying to be accurate, and, they is because I wasn't calling any of the shots.
No.
But I was fully cooperative, not cooperative actually. I was fully wanting to embrace everything that they were teaching as best I could. And I was committed to that 100%. And,
Sorry,
so
I got you off the track.
it's all right. But some people, may want to hear that. So it's all right. But,
About to do the.
so that the idea was that Doe was talking about, which he felt like was completely accurate on a technical basis, even though he couldn't describe the technical basis of that, was that if you got your vehicle totally in control, it could be healed completely. If it was because it would be only the next level mind that would be driving the vehicle. So, in other words, there wouldn't be any. I mean, if you got to it soon enough, then you could heal. And if somebody can latch on to that because they believe somebody else has that healing ability or to get rid of the demons, then if a human can be even frightened, which if it frightens the spirit, the other spiritual body that exists, because all those spiritual bodies exist after death, even though they're not the same kind of spiritual body as individuals that were older members of the next level. It's a much more developed spiritual body of a older member of the next level in leaps and bounds, with a kingdom level between them, like between humans and animals. So it would be healed completely. So how to apply this understanding, if somebody believes it, and so, I mean, for some things that would happen, it depends on whether, like, let's say if somebody goes to a session at like Oral Roberts was the example that Doe was using, where they primarily do healings for people, and whether they put their hands on their heads or whatever they do. So if the person believes that Jesus is going to work through this person to give them the healing that they want, um, then they don't have that blockage for receiving it. Okay, if they believe it, and so uh, uh, the individual that's being the instrument of that, the priest, uh, can then actually give them. They're serving as that instrument for that mind to come into that person and actually heal that part of their body. It might not last for a long time because it depends on if that person continues to have that belief about it. And to the degree that they might, start to forget about it and think, I wonder if that really happened that way. I don't know what I was into, what was I drinking there, to think that I was a cripple and then I wasn't again. But whatever, I'm just playing games with the ideas. But so I'll get back to the meat
What's
of
going
this.
on in the chat?
Thanks for that reminder.
Or if anything going on?
Actor Michael Merchant's here. Hey Sawyer and Kathy, hope you are both doing well today.
Hello.
Yes, we are.
Live chat.
Yes, and oh, that's right. That's cute. Pic of Miss Kathy in the slideshow.
What?
What?
It's probably not me.
I don't know if I put Kathy in there.
I hope you didn't. Uh-oh. You better look through the slideshow really quick.
In my slideshow, you're saying? All right.
It's probably not me.
In the top right corner? Well, I guess I'll just wait to see if you have a response to that, old school Dave. Uh,
It
that's
was.
a
It
yeah,
wasn't old school Dave that said that, was it?
yeah, it was.
It's probably not me. Oops. Oh yeah, it is old school Dave that said that. It can't be me.
I think you're misunderstanding that. The top right corner is only students that are left with dough.
Which one do you think is me? I'm
In the
curious.
top right corner there. Is she with somebody else?
Yeah, it's got to be.
The other slideshow.
We're watching it right now. I'm watching it right now. It's slow on Sawyer's screen for some reason, but on my phone it's up to date. So just say type win, or just whatever when you think that whichever person you think that you thought was me. I don't
Okay.
I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, but you know what I look like.
All right.
That's Evanodi and Rakoti that was just shown. Or Evanodi and
I'll
Rakoti.
let you watch that while I go back
That's
to the.
Rakoti. That's Rakoti. There's Sawyer on the left there and Rakoti, and there's Junodi and Sawyer. What's that? I don't know what that is. It's from the exit statements.
So then, one of the
That's
things should
Anody.
I was going to continue to read something from this. Is that all right?
Mm-hmm.
But you'll let me know, and I'll pause. Well, you'll tell me what it is. So Doe is talking about.
Okay, I just saw it.
You saw it?
How did that get in there?
There's a picture of Kathy in there.
Yeah, at least it's not indecent. Thank God. Yeah, Dave, I saw it. How? Oh no! You have to stop the slideshow because that's not accurate to have a picture of me in there.
All right. Well.
It's the one where I'm wearing your grandmother's necklace.
Oh, really? Okay. Wonder how that got in there. Maybe I was moving things around and I
I
put it
do
in the
think
wrong
that
place.
you should stop it and take it out
All right.
because it's not
All right. I'm gonna stop it and take it out.
it's not an appropriate picture for the hello I am. I mean, it's not a terrible picture. I posted it on
So it's
Facebook,
in the
but
top
it's
one where the students are.
yeah. That's why I don't like it in there because that's not. It's weird too because like when it came through, I guess because it's got like the way that it's morphing from one to another, it looked like the head was pasted on the body or something. It was weird.
Desktop pics for live stream celebration.
don't. Just wait a second, cause well, you may if you can remove it
Yeah,
and then
I
have
can
it
remember
go
it.
again. Yeah. Huh. Maybe you just like dragged and clicked. Moving stuff around.
Yeah.
It just got dragged
So
in
let's
there.
see.
Thank goodness it wasn't any other kind of picture. Not that we have ever taken anything like that.
Oh, there you are.
That there was another picture that just went by, like the space pictures, and it was CERES. That's an asteroid, or was that a star?
Okay.
All gone.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if I have to delete it. No, I shouldn't have to. Okay, back to normal. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I'm glad you said
Appreciate
something.
it.
Yeah, we certainly didn't intend to have that in there.
Nope.
And I wasn't looking at the stream
You
to
won't find me in there
notice
either.
it.
I don't think.
That looked like the only one, hopefully.
Yep. So let me get back to the tape.
Yeah. Distracted. What were you talking about?
Right. So, so I don't know how much of this I need to go into beyond what I've already said. I'll see if there's anything happening in the chat with you all. Oh, I am loser is here. I'm not supposed to say the last part of his
You
name.
can say whatever you want.
I'm not judging anybody.
No, I'm not. I just don't like hearing you say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's all.
It says, hey, Sawyer and Kathy. And so I was researching a lot, and I came to the conclusion that the German National Party had the VRIL Society, which were involved in VRIL energy UFOs. They all escaped after the war and are safe. Yeah, I don't doubt that.
What?
I don't know.
The German National Party? Like from Hitler?
I guess so. On the real society, I think they were doing some. They had, I don't know, they had evidence of trying. Hitler made a UFO, a spacecraft, a saucer, flying saucer. I saw a Russian documentary that talked about it. I mean, I don't doubt that. And they tried to make it work, and they showed pictures, video of it, and it would barely get off the ground. They did it with like big fans and stuff like that to lift something up. And then there was all the talk and the ideas that they feel like they got when they went to Antarctica, and they found a lake that the Fuhrer was planning to go to, which is they have on on tape some one of the I don't know if it's on tape or not, but they have somebody that was evidence of the head of the Secret Service, whatever they were called, I forgot. That said that I've secured for the Fuhrer a paradise or something, or some kind of a. When he came back after that mission that went to Antarctica, at least that was in this documentary from Russia. It was in English. Might have subtitles. I don't remember now. But I don't know. But I don't know about the Vril Society in particular. Whether
They're
that.
like reptilian. Viril is reptilians,
Oh,
or
it is.
no? I don't know. I'm asking.
The thought I had when I was
I thought
reading
they
it.
were reptilians. Is that what they are?
Oh,
I
okay.
am loser.
I am loser is saying, yes,
I thought
Sawyer,
they
you
were.
are correct. Hitler did make it, and they have videos of it. They took many of them to Antarctica and escaped. It's true, I know it. The Fuhrer is now in talks with Doe to save us. I don't know what that has to do with in talks with Doe, and I don't believe that Hitler actually made any spacecrafts that could do anything. I don't believe that. And they even said it in this documentary that he never really got the program off the ground. So I think that might be some misinformation about that. I could be wrong, there's things I don't know about, but it certainly wouldn't have anything to do with Doe. Uh, um,
I am loser. Are you coming from the idea that Hitler was not responsible for killing millions of people? No,
yeah,
I'd like him to I'd like that person to answer that question, because this is like maybe the second or third time you brought up Hitler and the Nazi Party. So I'd like you to like clarify. Like, are you trying to like promote Nazism?
and linking it with
I'd like
Doe.
it to be I'd like you to be very clear,
Yeah, it
because that's
reminded me
not
that,
any kind
yes,
of shit that we want to entertain here.
yeah, so there's no connection at all.
Because you said before that you thought like
you're talking
the
about,
Nazi Party or something was like on a spacecraft with Doe, and now you're saying that they're, they made it and they're safe.
yeah,
So does
so,
that mean like you're positive for them? I just want like that to be like, I'd like to like know what your leanings are here.
can I say something about it? I'm just going to address it for the facts of the matter. And that there's space alien groups that are in charge of that take control over humans. And so what you're referring to is not Doe, because Doe is from the members of the level above human that created the Earth and the planet. Space aliens didn't create anything here except for havoc, really. Even though they're nice people, they're gentle and they're kind, and if you were to meet them, I think you would be
Every single space alien is nice and gentle and kind, and if you were to meet them, that you'd
yeah, I think so in general.
really,
I think so in general.
you can say that 100%. You know that for
No, I
sure.
don't know that. I'm not saying I know that.
Like, then what are they doing scaring people and coming into people's nightmares and scaring the crap out of people? They're all nice and kind.
Well, I mean, if you were able to communicate with them, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I guess well, see, I got that from the idea that what some of the space aliens were doing was they're basically growing vehicles. They've got a hybridization program, right? So they're growing human vehicles that are mixed with whatever sperm they can get in their experiments. Okay, and they don't necessarily have the labs for that. Anyway, I don't think. I could be wrong about that, but that kind of thing is happening, and so their interface with humans is in a number of different ways that I'm aware of from the records. And one of them is that they attract people in the human kingdom that can be the most service to them. And it's basically, and so they go for the people that are in the government or become, movie stars, and they draw a lot of attention. And in order to have their support base, uh, um, uh, because one of their objectives is to capture souls to become members of their groups, to also to inhabit vehicles and try to make the vehicles last as long as they can last. They're looking for eternal life, of course, and that's been looked for right from the beginning. You can see all kinds of movies about it. I think the search for eternal life. Maybe there's not that many, but
Well, there's the Fountain of Youth and vampires, and yeah, I would say there's plenty.
oh yeah, okay,
Definitely.
yeah. And so I guess I'm thinking that's what I'm feeling is uh, I am losing might be getting a little misunderstanding about.
Well, why don't you see what they said?
Yeah, well,
Because
he can respond, or
yeah,
they can
there's lots
respond.
of comments coming through, so I don't know what they've
Yeah,
said.
I mean, there's a lot more I could say about that.
Well, can you read their comments
They didn't make any.
after I asked them those questions?
I got it on live chat, and after that statement from I am guy person. Uh,
I thought I saw more comments
so
coming
Casey says
through.
pooping is next level behavior because you're expelling human waste. Well, that's kind of yeah, but it's animal behavior. So
Hey, Casey.
and the next level members wouldn't be pooping around. They don't have a bathroom. They don't have a digestive system. Although they do have sometimes different forms of nutrition, and one form can be a type of light that they might sit under, or might be the lighting for the entire spacecraft that they're in. And or another way would be to like take a pill every so often, or if they still have a vehicle that has the capacity to eat, then they might be somebody that can do a task on Earth to where if something happened and they had to stay a while, they could if they needed to find something to eat, they still could maybe find something to eat. So I mean that
Like
would
those
be
visitors in the Bible.
yeah, like those visitors in the Bible that went in to eat with Lot, right? And but that also gives humans a chance to see that these strange beings that have some qualities that they don't understand and they don't, exist, that are different than other people. I think it's because they are so different that interfaces with people, and then you have all kinds of responses, and it goes to this actually tape that we're talking about because some of the responses was to take them out and some people think have intercourse with them. That's the story, how the story goes. I think part of them, or kill them or something. They wanted those people from Lot, and Lot, uh,
Right, that's right. That's crazy.
and he had to barricade the door, I guess,
And give him his daughters, right?
Yeah, right. He had to figure out, right. He thought, but he never did he?
I don't think they let him.
No, I
I
don't think
can't
they did.
remember, but he offered his daughters up instead.
Yeah, which
Anyway,
does, doesn't sound very good,
nope, it
you
sure
know.
doesn't. But
You know,
anyway,
but it doesn't mean that that was from the next level mind to do that.
no, I don't think so.
His best bet at that point would have been to say, "What do you all think? What should I do?" Instead of offering his daughters.
I mean, it goes to show you, like, the state of society, the state of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Oh, right, right. They
I
might
mean,
have
like, how.
thought low value of daughters.
Well, I mean, not even, but just that, like, the people were so depraved. It was like, instead, like, the best thing to do was, like, offer up a substitute instead of, like, being murdered or
Yeah, yeah.
being pulled out and, raped or whatever.
Right, right.
That's like, total breakdown of society.
So so that was
Like,
to
you can't
me.
even have guests in. There's like a mob at your door saying, let us have sex with them. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't know if it became known
That's
as that
completely
or
insane. No, I remember that from the story
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Like, we
yeah.
want to, lay with them.
Right, lay with
And
them,
that's
right?
how people are saying, that God doesn't like homosexuals
Because
because of
said they
that.
were fair, right? Didn't they say that?
I don't know, but
They
I,
seemed
I
fair
just,
because they probably were of a fair
like,
complexion.
what the hell is
Because
that?
they would have a vehicle
Like, where the hell are you living?
that could blend in
You
in
can't
some
even
way,
have guests
but
over.
necessarily, but it wouldn't blend in terms of the quality of mind. But and they'd be trying to blend in, by so they would choose their wardrobe. I can see some people over there. They would have a if they were doing a task like that for the next level, then you would try to do it the best way that you could to accomplish the task. If the task was to deliver information to one person in particular, then one human on the ground, then uh, you would go to do that task, and then, but would you know that the people in the town would be upset? Well, maybe you would, but you didn't. Maybe you didn't. You could make mistakes. You could not plan well, and all of a sudden be in a situation to where they're trying to beat the door down because you got caught. Being seen, or maybe they wanted to let them see them to give them a test of what are you going to do when you see us. Are you still so savage that you're going to want to, destroy us or take advantage of us? So, like Lucifer gets many tests as well. Everybody gets tests. Nobody's without tests. Um, and that's and so it doesn't matter whether you believe in T and O or Jesus or nothing or some space alien entity or spirit entity because uh, we get what uh, we want. I guess what we get from it. And I know we can feel loyalty. We can begin to feel loyalty if we've been helped by a spirit helper. I forgot to tell Kathy this, but lately I've been seeing something out of the corner of my eye that felt like I was seeing a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I would look and there'd be nothing there. That's happened to me maybe twice today at least.
Mm-hmm.
And outside. Maybe it wasn't always outside. But I can't remember that really happening much before. It did happen in the classroom to me a couple times. I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
But so, oh, Casey's just screwing around. He said. He said, "Sorry, just joking. Sorry if that offends." I didn't find any offense by it. I don't think Kathy did either.
No.
Matthew Carey says, I'm joining late, but it's good to see you broadcasting a lot lately. Thanks, Matthew. I appreciate it. Um, there's so much, you know, the TNO material is just so much. You can't hide it under a bushel basket. Well, you can, of course, but hopefully um, we can put it on top sometimes. So, I am says, let's see, okay, try, but see, Doe didn't try to save the earth. This is from the I am person.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, he says more, but and it's okay. I don't mind reading it. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the Imperial Germans are not. He's saying the Imperial Germans are not space aliens. They tried to save us and are now in the next level. I am saying that the Fuhrer had a similar mission to Doe, and both tried to save the Earth and sadly failed.
So he tried to save the earth by killing all the Jews. How exactly did Hitler try to save the earth?
Yeah, see, it's a strange
If you think Hitler was trying to save
belief
the
that you
earth
have
by the
there.
actions that he took, then you are
I,
not welcome with that kind of theory here.
well, no, well, see, the thing is that
Or
Doe
to
wasn't trying to
espouse,
save the
like,
Earth.
that's actually illegal. You know, that's illegal in some places.
We'll have to say that.
To be, like, talking about Hitler and, all that. You try to talk like that in Germany, and you will be arrested.
Yeah, but
To
tying
say
it
that
together with Doe is so wrong.
Hitler was trying to save the world by killing all the Jews and establishing the
Right,
1,000-year reign. Is that, like,
right.
are you trying to Mein Kampf was right? Like, come on, man, get the fuck out of here with
Yeah,
that.
it's ugly, evil stuff you're talking about, and there was no evil in Doe, and I can prove that. And you're actually,
Of what you're trying to say.
uh, uh, so and the Fuhrer didn't go to the next level. Because I don't think you even know what the next level is. I'm gonna have to venture to guess. If you're thinking the next level is the spirit world, yes, the Fuhrer went to the spirit world, but the spirit world is a huge uh, um, structure on Earth, and it extends beyond the Earth potentially. We don't know how far. So, I can just maybe that's what you're talking about there. But so so you're completely wrong that it has nothing to do with Doe at all because there's no mission to save the Earth. Doe didn't have a mission to save the Earth. He was here to save souls, if you want to look at it that way, from being recycled. Because even the spirit world gets recycled. Even the space aliens get recycled. The space aliens are the fallen angels, and they influence people that are in government to go the directions that they go in, to invent things, to, and the next level is giving humans inventions, actually, because space aliens don't really know how to give humans instructions on how to uh, invent much, I don't think. Um, I could be wrong about that, but uh, uh, be, um, but they can tell you, they can, uh, by their demonstration of their spacecrafts and the technologies used, and giving them to humans to actually even play with to backwards engineer, to learn to backwards engineer. That's the way that they want to get humans to make them spacecrafts that then they can take with those humans, the ones that they want to bring with them, because even the ones that are doing the work on building the space programs and stuff aren't necessarily ones that they want to get along with on board their spacecrafts or in their communities that they're building on that they intend to build on the Moon and Mars. They're starting with the Moon. That project just NASA just got a big. I think it was only they only said like 100 billion. Maybe it was more than that.
I don't know. I
You
didn't
know.
see it yet.
Anyway,
Let me
to go to establish dominance of space. See, this is a war in the heavens.
Oh, that's crazy.
The war in the heavens extends to the outer space areas. What we think of outer space. But that doesn't mean it goes into deep space. They may have only gone to 1/nth degree of what exists with the Voyager that's still going, I think, and other things.
Yep.
Who knows how far it'll go and not see anything if the batteries are still working. I heard that they lost it and then they got it back again.
Do you need water? Let's get you some.
I can see the next level. The thought I got with that is that the next level saw that it was losing its battery and wanted it to continue, so gave it a little charge. So then humans can continue to see what's out there if they see anything. Because they've given us everything that we can learn. And it all gets twisted automatically by the space aliens.
Oh, you flipped up our. We still got a whole other jug. Gosh, we've been slacking on drinking water.
Yeah, I have been actually slacking on drinking water. I need to drink more.
I can't drink at all. Okay. Pick up the pace.
So,
Well,
but,
she's pretty much
anyway, so,
ruined, baby.
oh, wow. That's a strange color, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to go good with the blue,
Purple.
but,
She actually looks good from there down. Anyway,
hmm well,
we'll
it's
start.
it's different. It's the purple people eater.
We'll start with something else. It was so nice before I effed it up.
So Casey says, I think T and Do have been here before. There were spacecraft seen by gladiators during ancient Rome while they were at war.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I mean, you got those frescoes, that like they used one name to identify a number of artists that wrote kind of I think, in the same style mostly, right? And in those frescoes, you see spacecrafts, like little flying saucers in the background sometimes. And you see, one of was the one that was really interesting to me was that showed a little person riding in a comet or going across the sky. And it's got a tail, and that's the way I interpreted it anyway. Or a rocket ship. I mean, if you want to think of it that way, it could have been. Uh, so uh, you could say those ideas are part of the next level stimulus of what's to come. It goes into the art if people are doing that kind of art. So yeah, I think they've been here before. I think they were here Well, I don't think T was necessarily uh, here during this civilization in a physical body, but Doe felt like uh, I think he felt like T might have been. Well, maybe Kathy. I don't know if you remember hearing anything about this in the tapes, but at one point I think he indicated that he thought Jesus had a more a physical relationship with his older member at one point, besides the point that was talked about at the Transfiguration, because that wasn't with his older member, that was with two individuals that were doing a task. But that he was communing with his older member while the other two were relating to the three students that he brought up to that mountain with him, which was Peter and I think John and uh, James, was it?
I don't
I
know.
think it was James. So uh, So Casey says, and the Hopi Indians out of New Mexico, Nevada region saw spacecraft before settlers came to America. I believe that 100%. Even in the early 70s, before Doe became incarnate again, I think it's even continuous potential. But it doesn't have to be next level all the time. It can be the space aliens as well, because they have interests like in minerals, and maybe they were behind the settlers going out for the gold, going to get the gold, and then basically trying to conquer those areas as they went. That's what they did, really. They ran people out if they didn't cooperate. Uh, Casey says, I still struggle with Sodom and Gomorrah. That is a very sick part of the Bible. I'd hate to have lived back then. Yeah, that was a sick time. Yes, that's for sure. Primitive is what, you know, primitive though, right, sick because of the fact that the influences were here to have people have such negative thoughts as, as killing somebody else for any reason. And, you don't like the way they look or something, or they don't look at you right or something. I don't know if they were like that. But,
The
I,
Romans certainly were.
yeah, if you look at the laws that Moses wrote, of all the different, they were trying to instill, I think T said that they were trying to give them some uh, um, restraint, I think. But the word that she used, I'm forgetting it, what it was. Um, Keeping them from being so promiscuous, I think. Giving them rules so that they could limit themselves in that way, which is consistent with the whole program that the next level has had on the planet. And there's all kinds of degrees to that, I think. Anyway, so I still struggle with some. Yeah, it's very sick part. And then Matthew says is talking to Ham and says I don't think Hitler would be in the next level. I don't think he was working towards growth and positive change. Exactly. And Casey's saying the destruction of the worship of Yahweh is contradictory to Tiendo. Yeah, I think,
Yeah, and that's what Hitler was working towards.
oh, really? I mean, actually, that's like something that's known.
Oh yeah, they did not believe in God at
Oh, they were
all.
paranormalists.
Absolutely the opposite.
Yeah,
Absolute opposite of
yeah,
believing in God.
yeah, right. Thanks for that,
They're trying
Casey.
to literally, tear that down.
Yeah,
It
right,
wasn't that they were just trying to get rid of a race, they were also trying to get rid of the religion.
right.
So,
That makes sense, and that's why that's even continuing now. Even though we've had they've been locked up. I mean, I don't know when the lockup started, but Doe felt like the Revelation part where it says that Lucifer would be locked up for 1,000 years. He felt that happened sometime in the past. Didn't refer to what was happening while they were there and after that. The way that it's the order in which things are talked about in that body of record books, which is whom Doe was a rep of said kingdom. Yes, I believe so, says Casey. And then, so it's very contradictory, absolutely. And dare I say evil? Yes, it is. And see what makes it evil is it's not true. So it's deceitful to. I mean, because you can't prove it. I mean, you can't. You can say that you can't prove otherwise, but you can't prove otherwise. But you have to be into the information. You'd have to study what Doe was teaching for all those years. You can't just say that based on some documentary that you saw that talked about their exit, and and then link them together as believe that they were it was a mastermind program of mind control, and like and it's interesting how that played out in the human kingdom with the MK Ultra programs that happened, with the CIA. I don't know if the FBI was that an FBI program
I'm not 100% sure.
or CIA. I think it was a CIA program.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that, both of the agencies had a hand in it, though.
Yeah, and there were a
I
lot
mean,
of things
I
that they
don't,
did during
yeah,
that were under that label.
yeah. But I think it was primarily a CIA
And
program.
I don't doubt that those people that were instigating those organizations were all in cahoots to some degree with the scientists that were taken away from Germany, because they were doing kind of experimentation with genes and stuff, even though they didn't know it was genes at the time. But examining people, and who knows what they were doing with the young children, to breed what they want. That's a space alien mind that wants to use humans for breeding. The next level doesn't need human bodies. They don't really need the human bodies at all, except that becomes a method of helping souls um, develop strength to where they could graduate into getting a next level body. So, but Adam didn't have to fall. Doe said. Uh, um, they would have done is they would have uh, given somebody else a test like that, and Adam, I guess, would have got more responsibilities. More, not responsibilities, but more um, significant tasks, or I guess that's one way to say it, because that's what Doe talked about. That there were different kinds of tasks, and there were elementary tasks, and there were uh, more serviceable, more more service, more and more service. Service meaning being part of a crew or do something by yourself. If that's what the instruction is. So I am loser says Hitler was a Christian and mentioned God in many of his speeches and thanked God a lot. Christianity was very important in the Third Reich. Maybe research it and don't believe blindly, Kathy. But Yahweh is what the word that Casey used. And Yahweh represents the Lord of Moses and
So just so
Adam
you know,
and Jesus, actually.
not like I'm some super intelligent person or anything. In fact, I'm not. I am 51 years old, and I have some college. I'm not sure how old you are, how much schooling you have, or how much research you've done on
The Third Reich.
World War II and the Germans, um, and Hitler and all of that, and yes, the Third Reich and all of that. But I have an extensive library. I probably have close to 10,000 books, and probably about, and I'm not exaggerating, over 100 to 150, maybe even 200 books on World War II, Hitler. I have all kinds of books that are actually super hard to find because I did a deep dive on that. Um, I don't
You
speak German or anything, but
you cannot be a real
I've spent
Christian and be.
countless hours
I'm
researching
sorry.
it. And I'd be curious where Hitler thanked God in any of his speeches, or that Hitler was trying to establish
Oh,
Christianity in Germany, because that's the last thing that he was doing. You can look at the propaganda that Goebbels put out and Hitler put out, and it's the exact opposite. So I'm not sure where you're getting that. I need to research more about how the Reich felt about Christianity, because they were trying to set up their own religion.
yeah, they were into the paranormal,
I mean,
you know.
maybe I'm like totally
And
wrong about that, and all of it's
see,
Western propaganda, but I'm going off of like actually what Hitler wrote in Mein Kampf, and the like actual books that like the other people in the Nazi regime wrote about what they believed. Goebbels, Hess, Royce, all the Ross, all those people. Like, so I'm not sure where you're getting that they were Christians.
yeah, I mean, look at the people that consider
I'm
themselves
probably
to be
wrong.
Christians now.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
No, you're not wrong, I
But
don't
that was a
think.
lot of the reason why I was
Because
like
even if,
fascinated with them, because they were like all up in the occult and all kinds of crazy black sun stuff
right,
going on.
right. And that's where the space alien race was working with them over in that area because that's what they do. And that means that humans don't know that they're there. They talked about the Foo Fighters, where they talked about that during the war, World War II, I think, but it might have been one also, because they had yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if it
So,
was one as
but
well.
they would see things that they knew were not from this world, or they weren't able to fight with them. Anyway, But so that was, I guess, by some people, common knowledge. I never asked my uncle about that, whether they ever saw anything strange over there.
Hmm.
But and
He
he's
might
gone
know.
now, so I guess I can't do that.
He might
But
not
I
know
could
what
ask
you're talking
his
about.
daughter. Anyway, but I don't want to go there. But uh, the thing is that what you're calling Christianity is like it doesn't have necessarily anything to do with Jesus.
Well, but like he was directly against that though. Like there was
But I don't know if for the people he was like talking like God trust, I trust, God this and God that,
no.
God bless us or something.
Mm,
Never
mm.
speeches and things. Because you hear
No,
them
it
like
was
Trump does
all
it, and
no, it was
I think
all
Biden did it, and
no, it was all about the government, the state, what they
yeah.
were going the Reich, what they were going to
Okay, well that's
accomplish.
pretty strange.
Like the government was the religion.
I never studied that body of information, so let's move on from it, okay?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. No, I'm not harking on it.
No, I know you're not, but you're
I'll
clarifying
look
because I'm
into it
talking
again
about it.
because I mean maybe I'm totally wrong and there's something going on, but
But you don't.
you know.
You need to learn to talk to somebody a little more respectfully instead of saying that they're blind. But maybe I don't know. Because how do we know who's blind?
Well, that's
To
why I was just trying to
the
explain
truth. I
like what
mean,
my background
you're
is of
talking about Doe in this, and to me,
you
I
thinking
don't.
like Hitler and Doe are hanging out. Like, come
Yeah,
on, man.
that's kind of blind to me. That's
That's
kind of blind. So it's
you're
like the
actually
pot,
insane. You think we're insane. That's actually insane.
and I'm going by experience, and I have all the writings of Doe and the audio tapes, 1,000 audio tapes. So there's no truth to it.
Well, you
It's
still
kind
didn't
of
answer like you know, you think that Hitler was trying to save the world by killing millions of people. You still didn't answer that. You want to say like all this other kind of stuff that
right. Casey says you can't be a real Christian and be cool with what Heinrich Himmler or Joseph Goebbels was doing. No, you couldn't. And there can be similar things said about today. But anyway, with the people that claim to be Christians, but then they don't, they'll drop bombs on you if you don't behave or supply somebody else the weapons to drop bombs on people. So it's anyway. But moving on. So Casey says, look, my second great aunt had tats on her arms with the number from the camp. So I don't feel comfortable having this debate, and I'll try and just leave it at that. I don't know how Kathy feels. Yeah, I agree. We're done with this. So I am loser. I'm not going to read your things, and I'm gonna have to block you if you continue to want to talk about it, because the stream isn't about what's on your mind, and I just want to be direct with you. I don't. I mean, you can believe what you want, but I would really hope that you would question what you're doing, because and not be so inclined to say things that you don't really know about. And I'm particular in terms of Doe, and so you're spreading actually false information by doing that. And I get enough false information thrown at us by the media and occasional person. And so I think it's going to be block time if you continue beyond what you've already said, because I see there's some new comments. Yeah, see, you're in like a nothing or all kind of mindset, the way I see it. That you're saying books are written by the winners. Yes, the history books are written by the winners, right? Okay, but that doesn't mean that the people don't know more than those textbooks that are written, and they write a lot of books.
Well,
All kinds of people write books.
Hitler wrote Mein Kampf, so
Yeah. So so anyway, I'm going to move on, and uh,
which I've actually read.
right, and one of them was the propaganda ministry, and yeah, and that's the opposite of next level. So again, you know, they don't do propaganda. That's a human thing and space alien thing to get humans to do. And so you're telling me that okay, no, no, only Germany doesn't know isn't the only ones that have propaganda. They all have propaganda. Even getting into the war was filled with propaganda when when they decided that they weren't going to have any German goods anymore sold in New York City, and they had started a boycott, and that was part of a plan to try to bring the United States into the war. And so they started putting out propaganda showing like Germans with baby on their bayonet, stuff like that. And my grandmother was living in New York City at the time, and they were starting to segregate Germans during that time because of what was happening over there. So it's there's propaganda everywhere is the bottom line. So you're limiting your thinking by thinking that the winners write all the history. They don't write all the history. They write only part
Well,
of the
like I
history.
said, I wasn't even going off like the quote unquote winners version. I'm going off actual
Right.
Nazi propaganda. Like
Yeah.
what
Kathy
Goebbels
really does
wrote,
have like
like I'm not
50,000
kidding.
books.
Yeah, like I'm not like kidding. Like I have
I know. I carried him into a truck
yeah, you poor thing.
on a truck,
But
a car.
like once we get our space set up, like people will be able to come and like see all the books in the library that I have, and then you
Hmm.
can research in the actual like books that are written in German about that stuff. But like I said, I don't
I'm going to
speak
charge
German,
$100 an
so
hour, though, I think.
nobody is allowed to leave their property with any of the books.
Right.
But that is like one of the
I'm
goals
only
that I have.
joking.
I'd like to, library, not a library, but I don't even know what it's called, like a gallery of books. Well, like the Library of Congress, you're not allowed to leave with any of them. So I'll have Kathy's Library of Congress. I have a lot of good books on Germany, all that stuff.
My gosh, Casey. That's strange. Anyway, uh,
We can't let ourselves be too terribly good. That person got their truck out of the middle of the damn road. Like, what was that person thinking? Maybe they had a flat tire. There's a jack right there.
Casey likes to research history, but he's got his limits to it.
Yeah, it was
Okay, you give me a quote. That's good. I like that. It wasn't his nurse. So you don't have the right information. You don't have the truth information. What really happened, because those vehicle with the name Applewhite was not uh, his nurse. T was not his nurse. He came. He was visited by a. Um, he was visiting a friend of his in the hospital, a sick friend, and T was substituting because normally she worked in the nursery taking care of the preemie babies. And so, but sometimes nurses would substitute for each other. So she substituted for this other nurse and went in to administer some. I don't know. They were taking some medicines or something, and that's where she met Doe. And she brought up the subject of, I don't know how the astrology came up, but I think T instigated it. Somehow they started talking, and and Doe said, "That's interesting. I've wanted to have my chart done." Was one of the things he said to her. And then he found out that T would only do a chart if they were asked 3 times to do it. So now I'm giving you the actual. I heard this actually from their mouths when T and Doe were present talking about how they met. They talked about it because they wanted us to have the accurate information. And so I'm an eyewitness. So you can believe what other people say, but it's not the same thing as what I say. I don't appreciate you being talking about uh, Doe as if there was something wrong with him, regardless of his vehicle's um, attraction to same sex or opposite sex. So it sounds like you've got some difficulties, and I hope you can, take what I'm saying as being helpful to get out of that very negative sounding frame of mind, because it'll do you in. I mean, not it'll do you in and kill you, but it'll it's just it, it can stimulate uh, growth of physical problems even within us when we entertain uh, just I mean, it's one thing to study things and read things, but I suggest doing it as an observer and not making your mind up about things that you don't have experience with. I don't know how many stories we could tell you about subjects that have been brought to the media that it's only the tip of the iceberg in the story. But if you don't look into it, and Kathy has looked into a tremendous amount of things. Uh, so, so anyway, I don't want to make this whole broadcast about what you're saying because, uh, but I do want to offer you some help with learning to identify how you can take one thing and think that it means a whole bunch of things, that add up to a whole bunch of things that you can't believe it because, history is written by the victors, or I mean the winners. And when that's not a true statement, I mean, I know people have talked about that the history books in the classrooms were that way. And that's why you get so little detail in the classrooms. Because in the details, you find out that all the shenanigans that were taking place by the victors to manipulate the mind. That didn't go away with Goebbels. It became more and more sophisticated and hidden and confusing. Anyway, so right, and Doe didn't come in his name. He's quoting that many will come in my name, saying I am the Christ, and will deceive many. So you're wrong again. He didn't come in the name of Jesus. He came saying that they explained it. They said that they were from the same family as Jesus came from, and uh, they were doing a repeat kind of performance in the sense of but bringing updates. So they were demonstrating the process of change of being born into a new kingdom, born of mind, born of spirit. It's a spiritual birth, but it uses the human vehicle to gain the strength of getting rid of the disinformation mind, the lower thoughts, the negative thoughts, um, the hateful thoughts, the about judgmental about things that we don't understand, and so we can have a negative reaction to. Um, that can be a negative reaction repeatedly, and that could be something that one person has more problems with than another person. And the idea when you sense that negative, or what stimulates, uh, you know, that kind of thinking about, I don't know if you do, but uh, the kind of thoughts that you put in here, um, deciding what is evil, and you're 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 putting that into motion. You're potentially, um, maybe that's your intention, but uh, it's very bad for. I think there's still opportunity for everybody to actually ask the creators of the planet, project to the highest source you can imagine, ask them to show you who is from them and who is not. And maybe they'll, if you're asking with your heart, uh, the highest source that you can imagine being, whatever you want to call them, that created the planet and the life forms on it, because they sure weren't created by humans. And the space aliens sure seem to need these things with their programs of hybridization. So ask for that clarity to be given to you. And if you ask sincerely enough, and enough means, one time may not be enough. It might be 10 times. I don't know how many times it would be. And it might be over time that you're asking that question. But I think if you show them that you really mean it, uh, they'll give you an answer. They'll give you a way of uh, coming to terms with certain things in a different way, seeing things in a different way, and learning to shut out the negatives. Because what's real is what actually happened, what somebody actually said, not what somebody else said they said, which I do a lot of that with Doe. I'm saying what he said in the audio tapes because I'm not allowed to play them. I tried to play them. So anyway, um, so I encourage people to listen to the tapes, find them themselves, whatever way they might find to do that. Shouldn't have to pay for them. That's all I'm going to say about it. I understand seeing things as contradictions. That's the way I felt about the Bible, or even Jesus, the Gospels, that there were contradictions. And what I learned later was that what I thought were contradictions weren't. really contradictions. It had to do with my perspective that I didn't, I just wasn't seeing things to make sense out of them. I wasn't understanding what he was saying, like the illustrations and the parables and things. And you can find fault with all of them if you're a believer of that information, because you did quote me on that. But so that's all I'm going to say about that right now. Um, I appreciate you giving me some specifics, so that it's not just a matter of uh, anyway, to where I can try to give a decent answer to some of these ideas. So yeah, so Casey says I consider my time here with most of you to be a privilege. Saw and Kat don't have to come online and share their thoughts, and the tapes left by the class speak for themselves, like Doe said before. The exit Before the exit, you're going to have to decide all this for yourselves. That's right. Uh, for that reason, these conclusions, both positive and negative, you will find, isn't with Saw and Cat. It's with the class who graduated and left us this information. It's not just T and Doe you're putting down. You're putting down 38 other human vehicles and the plants they left behind. And then it says you have a booger to deal with. All right, I think I've had enough. I'm going to worn out. Thanks, Casey. I appreciate everything you were saying to try to help that individual. What? Have you been banned from Reddit? And are you banned at the current time? Right, because of the proselytizing rule of if you quote Tiendo, then you're proselytizing. Was it directed at? Yeah, I didn't. Kathy was asking if it was directed at you as well. Maybe you had posted something there. Oh yeah, what Doe said. They don't want that to start happening. See, they're showing their what influence they're under, and I don't like to talk about it really. So anyway, I won't right now. So I am loser says thanks Sawyer for visit your streams because I lost faith in Applewhite and the baby nurse. Sorry about this. I am no longer a believer. That's good. That's cool. I'm okay with you. Thanks for telling me that. I'm not looking to make any conversions. I'm not trying to really convince anybody. I do try to give opportunities of looking at them in different ways, more accurate to what they were teaching all along. So anyway, yeah, in case he sends a message to him, then you should consider. In case he's being polite. So take off. I'm officially leaving the classroom of 2025. Goodbye.
There was no classroom of 2025.
No, there was not. There is no classroom of 2025. So anyway, that's okay. Bye. So I guess with that said, unless there's something that somebody else wants to add in here quickly, I do need to go to bed. I'm kind of on time, so
Yeah, you got it.
it's
So
good to quit now so I can have a little snack I like to have, not
yeah,
too close to sleep time. Face palm?
yeah. I don't
Casey said that.
know.
Face palm.
Probably just about that person.
Okay.